Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. We will discuss today about the living cost in New Zealand, the total cost of living for a family of 3 or 4 members. So myself, Justin, and my son Joe, we will address this particular issue. The reason why I am doing this video, the redoing this video some other way, because few of my friends who were unable to follow my mother tongue, which is in Malayalam, and they requested me to do the video in English as well. So we will directly walk into the subject. The cost of living, inflation, some other way. Inflation is affecting globally. It's not just New Zealand, all over the world it is hitting. Here in New Zealand, when you think about the survival cost, one of the most important factor is the rent, house rent. If you are renting an apartment or a house, how much you may have to pay? That is the first thing and foremost important expenses in New Zealand. You know how much it may be?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like around 500 New Zealand dollars, not for a month, for a week. Here in New Zealand, we need to pay rent in every week. So in every 4 weeks, it's around 2,000 New Zealand dollar. In a month, if it is 4.5 weeks, so we need to spend around 2,250 New Zealand dollar only for rent. So on an average, if you think about 4 weeks month, it's $2,000. And there may be some areas you may find cheaper accommodation, uh, maybe interior parts of some villages and other areas. And if you come to the town, it may be costlier than what you expect. $700, $800 and all you may have to pay. But on an average, I would like to take not around $500 for a month, or sorry, for a week as the weekly rent. So that means 2,000 New Zealand dollar in a month. And second important thing is about the electricity. It's not like a single provider for electricity which is common in India, like the electricity boards. It's not that here. Here we have got different providers. They provide electricity to our homes. But when you think about an average, you may have to spend for a family of 4 in a 2-bedroom house with adequate facilities, including the heating system, the dryer, washer, and everything. On an average, you may have to spend around 300 New Zealand dollars. In the winter, it will be much more than that because you are using the heater, because extremely cold those days might be. Whereas in the summer, because you don't use much heater, you may not have to use much of the dryer and all, so it may be cheaper. So still we take it around 300. So the 2,000 for the rent and maybe around 300 for the electricity. And the next one is internet. We need to have, it's better to have unlimited internet, Wi-Fi facilities in the houses. So you can use our mobile phones and you can watch your YouTubes and other things at home. So unlimited internet, still the same situations, different providers, but you will get it for around 80 to 100 New Zealand dollars. You will get a month's unlimited internet. So take it around $80. A reasonable company, they can give you your internet. They will provide you for around $80. What we missed? Yeah, we missed about the groceries. That's very important there. The groceries. Earlier, when I was in New Zealand few years ago, when we were in New Zealand few years ago, our monthly the grocery expenses were around 400 New Zealand dollars. Now it's around 600. Still, like 600 New Zealand dollars is not too much when we compare about the total earnings, but that is a big amount. That is not very simple, which we cannot neglect. So the 600, yeah, for a family of 4, again for a same picture, family of 4 altogether, it may be around. If you trying to reduce it, you may be able to reduce it to 500, and if you spend reasonably, it can be 600 to 700. If you spend a lot, maybe everything from your salary can go for those. Depends on how you are spending. The groceries, on an average again 600 New Zealand dollar I am counting here. And some areas you need to pay for the water. If you are paying for water, it may be around 50 New Zealand dollars. And maybe the next one could be about the schooling. So my two children, they are studying in the government school, and maybe he will tell about that schooling expenses. That's a better one.
Okay, so two I'm in year six, I'm in year six, and I'm in a government school, so everything is free there, like all the stationaries, the lunch, the technology uses, the uniform, which we did not have to wear in a government school. We only had to wear casual dress. But when I'm in year seven, which is now, we have to pay for the fees, the uniform, and the technology, and the dress, and a lot more stuff.
So till year 6, there is no expenses in the government schools. Whereas from year 7, even in the government school, you need to pay minimum amount. Like for Mr. Joe, it's around 400 New Zealand dollars when he is on 7th, and 8th almost same. And as the year goes, when he is advancing in his studies, we need to spend a little bit more than that. So schooling depends on your children's age, you need to spend. And if you have very small children, that is another one part, like the early childhood education. The early childhood schools, like there are many options available, right? So the small kindergarten or something like that, those areas, they will charge according to the hours. Like government will give you around 20 hours a week free. After that, like if both the parents are working, you need to have more and more hours for your children to be in the early schools. So you need to spend extra. Maybe if both the parents are working, you may have to spend around, when I was calculating, you may have to spend around 600 to 700 New Zealand dollars for the children for a month. For a child, actually, for a single child, you need to spend around 600 to 700 if both the parents are working, right? If one of the parent is able to stay back at home and take care of the children, that's fine. No concerns about that. So that's the early schooling expenses. And the other things which can come about the information technology things, like you wanted to buy some electrical things, you wanted to buy some kitchen utensils, or you wanted to buy something unexpected, maybe some what I can say, some stationaries or some household items, you need to keep some money aside. For us, like we keep around $200 to $300 a month for those things, the kitchen and other items, electronic items. So though we need not have to spend every month, when we spend, we need to spend more than that. That is why on an average of $200, that is the best ideal thing. And did we miss anything? Yes, I missed the cars. Yeah, the transportation. The transportations in New Zealand, you can use the public transport system. Like there are plenty of buses and trains, but it's not available everywhere. If you are working a little bit far and if you wanted to travel a little bit more, it's always a good idea to have your own car. If you are buying a car, that's a good thing. But when you buy a car, you need to spend money for buying it. Otherwise, you need to take a loan. And if you are buying a car in loan, you think about repayment of that. If you pay outright and if you own the car, still you need to take care of the maintenance. The car, you can buy anything, maybe from $1,000 to maybe $80,000 you can buy a car. Depends on how much you wanted to spend. The cheapest one in the local market, maybe which can run for some years or some months, like $1,000, $2,000. You need to select. I will prepare a video how to select a good car later and upload. And here, the maintenance is one of the thing about the cars. The expensive maintenance is very expensive. If you have a car and if you are driving maybe around 1,000 kilometers a month, you may have to spend around 300 New Zealand dollar only for the petrol, and maybe around $100 or $150 you should consider and keep aside for the maintenance of the car, because maintenance is very costly, and a simple oil change will cost you around $90 to $100, and the tires, the rotation, all those things are you cannot imagine sometimes. It's too much. And that's about the cars and the maintenance. And you also can have your insurance, health insurance, or your life insurance. Health insurance is a good choice. Like if you have anything unexpected directly, you can jump into a private hospital and you can avail the facilities. And if you don't have a private health insurance, you can go to the government hospitals, but it takes time to get the things done sometimes, not always though. So insurance cost might be like if you are doing it for whole family, you may have to spend around the health insurance around $200 $300 you may have to spend a month, and the life insurance for a single person for around 300,000 New Zealand dollar coverage, you may have to spend around 50 New Zealand dollars. Depends on how much you want to spend and how many people you wanted to include in the insurance. So generally, I think I covered almost all of the expenses, main expenses in New Zealand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So generally, like if I say you may have to spend around 4,000 New Zealand dollar, 4,000 to 5,000 New Zealand dollar to survive in New Zealand without unnecessary expenses. If you want, you can reduce a little bit. Don't think that you can do too much in that. I am counting the expenses. I don't have any additional unnecessary expenses. Still, I feel like I am spending around 4,000 to 5,000 New Zealand dollar a month to survive with our family in New Zealand. Hope this is going to be helpful. Yes?
Yeah.
So any more points?
No.
Yeah. So kindly subscribe our channel and share it with your friends.
Comment.
Yeah, okay. Comment. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you some other day.